Hey guys, I'm at Abrams Falls in the Smoky Mountains, and it's my first trip to this falls. I thought this would make a great backdrop to a little conversation about meditation. Several people have asked, why do we do meditation? What's the point of meditation? First, I'd like to talk about the Buddhist concept of the second arrow. So, suffering is inevitable. We're going to suffer in life. There's no getting around it. This is part of the human condition, suffering. But misery is optional. That quote comes from I can't remember his name, but there's a mountain climber that fell and got all broken up and had tremendous chronic pain for the rest of his life. But I've always resonated with that. Misery is optional. We have a choice. And the Buddhist concept of the second arrow is that when we suffer or we have an insult, whether it be a loss of a loved one, difficult day at work, a physical ailment, that's the first arrow. And that arrow sticks in us, and there's not anything that we can do about being assaulted with that arrow. But there's a second arrow that we stick in ourselves, or that comes at us and we don't move out of the way of. And that's the arrow of feeling pity for ourselves, wallowing in sorrow, rubbing misery into the wound, being the victim, looking for sympathy, staying in that place of pain. And you can avoid the second arrow. The second arrow is self-imposed. The second arrow is within our ability to appreciate and evade. But it only happens when we are aware and when we wake up. And that's what this whole process of being alive is about. It's about waking up. Waking up to the dream that we don't think we have agency and free will and the ability to change our trajectories in our lives. Suffering is a fantastic mechanism to wake up. There's other mechanisms, near-death experiences. I've had a few of those. Those are stories for another day. Psychedelics, I don't have any experience in that. But I'm doing lots of research about psychedelic-assisted psychotherapy. And then some forms of meditation. And then there's some people who just have rapid cathartic experiences when they hear a piece of music or witness beautiful art that wake up. But the whole idea is to wake up. So how do you meditate to wake up? I'll answer that. As we meditate, we quiet the mind. And as we quiet the mind, we quiet that default mode network. The default mode network is that part of our body that prognosticates, it's self-referential. It was only discovered, I think in the 90s or 2000s, but it carries us to the past and it carries us to the future. And you literally quiet the default mode network. You decrease the amygdala activity, the fear centers in your brain. And as you do that, you become a witness to your inner narrative, your inner mind, your inner landscape, the thing that lies behind your normal waking experience of life. It's the mad, drunken monkey, as the meditation masters call it, or it's the puppy dog that sniffs ahead or sniffing behind you in the past that you constantly bring back to your side. So if you want to avoid that second arrow of suffering, the self-imposed suffering, the victimhood, the blaming, the shame. Shame's a huge, huge one. Shame is all self-imposed. No one can shame you. We shame ourselves. Meditation is the key to unlocking that. Meditation is the mechanism and the method for moving from being stuck in the maze to looking at the maze from 10,000 feet and seeing the way to your goal. So we sit quietly, we calm our mind, we quiet the default mode network, we turn down the amygdala, we become witnesses to ourselves, we almost see ourselves in third person. Whenever we are aware of thinking, we acknowledge thinking and release it. Acknowledge thinking and release it. Over and over and over. There's no bad meditation, there's no shame in meditation where you get aware of thinking over and over. Thoughts are like clouds, they come and they go, and you can't grab them. And stinking thinking happens. In AA, they call it the negative thoughts or negative patterns and ideas, stinking thinking. And a lot of these patterns are generations old. They've been taught to you, and they're deep, deep in your psyche. They call them runnels or reels or gullies, like water rushes and runs and cuts deep, deep fissures in the earth. And these runnels and reels and gullies run deep, and the thoughts, the watery thoughts want to run down those same channels. But by becoming aware and waking up, you can jump that gully, that reel, that runnel, and you can let the water run in new directions and new places, and find new patterns and establish new patterns and release trauma and release negative thinking and release the burdens and release the shackles, these psychic shackles that have been put on you by you, but also taught to you by your culture and your environment. So that's what meditation is. That's why we do it. You just sit quietly. You go to the breath, because the breath is an anchor. It always brings you back to now, brings you back to now, brings you back to now. I'm thinking, come back to now. I'm worried, come back to now. I'm making a list, come back to now. I'm being self-critical, come back to now. And it just brings you back to now. So the cool breath. Practice feeling the cool breath. Go to the abdominal breath, because that initiates the parasympathetic nervous system, that big, deep Santa Claus belly or Homer Simpson belly. And I look forward to meditating with you guys and practicing this together. I'm still a novice. I'm still a complete, absolute, total beginner. I'm just scratching the surface of what's to come, and I hope that you join me. So have a great day, a great week. Love yourself. Show compassion to yourself. Fill up your cup. Bathe yourself in love and compassion and gratitude. Be grateful for your breath, grateful for your heartbeat, grateful for your immune system, grateful for your skin, grateful for your legs that carry you and your hands that do your work. Love you guys, and I will talk to you soon. Peace.